Hello YouTube, Jonathan here. Welcome to my channel. And today I would like to take a look at Axis and Allies 1914. We're going to swing back around to that. Now this video is a special fan request video focusing more on the movement rules when it comes to this game. Now when I was planning out all of the things that I wanted to touch on, I realized there's quite a bit. So depending on how long this video starts to run, I may split land movement and then naval movement with amphibious assaults into two separate videos, but we'll see. There might be time to fit it all in one, but just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to be focusing on tournament rules. That's really what I know better. I played it more than standard rules. I realize there are a couple different versions of tournament rules out there. I will specifically be using the version that they play at the Origins Game Fair, and I believe it's the same kind, or it's the same tournament rule set that they use at Gen Con as well. I did not go to Gen Con this year, but I believe it's the same organization that puts on tournaments at both conventions. So just to level set, that is the rule set that we'll be using. Now, let's get started. So when it comes to movement, with these rules, you're really allowed to move 2 spaces. And you'll see that the entire board is not set up. That's because to illustrate a couple of these key points, we won't need units all across the board. I want to start focusing on land units, or land movement, so that's why we've got this part of the world set up. So when it comes to land movement, if you're moving from friendly territory to friendly territory, you can move 2 spaces. So what does that mean in practice? That means, let's say that Austria, over here green, wanted to reinforce its front with Russia. Maybe not attack Russia, but it just wants to reinforce. Well, if it wants to build up in Galicia, which is a very powerful strategic location, of course it can just move 1 space from Bohemia over, from Vienna, from Budapest. They're all connected. But what about these other territories over here? Well, because they're moving from friendly to friendly, these units can move 2 spaces and get up there. Or, 2 spaces, Vienna and Galicia. Same thing with these units over here. Your entire empire could basically move into Galicia if you wanted to. Or you could move the other way, move from Galicia over here to Triol, whatever you need to do. Now, let's flip this on its head a little bit. What if I don't want to move through my territory? What if I'm Austria? I need to help Germany. Well, same rule applies. I could move 2 spaces from Vienna over to Munich if I wanted to, because that is controlled by Germany, and I'm moving through friendly territory to get there. Therefore, I'm allowed to do that with the tournament rule set. Now let's change things a little bit further. Let's say Austria has attacked Italy up in Venice. Venice is now contested, and I am Germany. Can I move my units down there? 2 movement. It isn't controlled by an enemy, but it's not controlled by an ally. Triolia is friendly. Can I move there? And the answer is no, at least with this setup. Because Venice is not a friendly territory, therefore we cannot count that as our 2nd space. Now, I'm going to change things up on you once again. Let's say that Germany has a couple units down there, also in Venice. So now Germany is contesting Venice along with Austria. Now that changes things a little bit. If you are part of the force that is contesting that zone, you can treat it as a double movement territory. So in this scenario, Germany could double move into Venice. But if it has no troops there in the contested zone, it cannot do that. That's probably one of the more confusing things when it comes to this. So just quick overview. If you're moving friendly to friendly, you can move 2 spaces, either through your territory or through an ally's territory. If you are moving from friendly to a territory that you yourself are contesting, you can move 2 spaces to get into that territory. But if you want to move into a territory that is contested, but you are not part of that contesting force, you cannot do it. So just to reiterate one more time, because I know that is one of the most confusing things. For Germany, if the board looks like this, it cannot double move into Venice. But if it already has troops there, it is part of the contesting force. Now it could double movement down there, and that would be fine. Now, this double movement rule helps Russia out a lot because, as you can see, it has forces scattered all over the place. And if it can only move 1 space, it's slowly inching things forward to the front. But if it can now double move, well, let's see. We can get, if we wanted to push everything into Poland, like I talked about in one of my other videos, everything up north, in fact, as we go down, literally everything, I believe, except for Kazakhstan in the south and Finland up north, could theoretically be moved into Poland. Now, that would leave you defenseless elsewhere. I wouldn't recommend. I do like a strong posture in Poland, though putting absolutely everything there, I don't know if I'd go that far. Ukraine is also a very strategic location for Russia, so you want to make sure that you hang on to that as well. Poland and Ukraine, that's really your bulwark up front. But in theory, yes, you could move everything except 2 infantry, one in the north and one in the south, all the way into Poland on your first turn, if you wanted to. On the flip side, Austria can really beef up Galicia at the same time and distribute forces, between Italy and Galicia. And typically, what I've seen a lot, when Austria attacks Venice on the first turn, sometimes it doesn't take it out, but since Austria is contesting it, every turn, if it wants to, it can keep shifting units over from Venice 2 spaces to a territory it contests over there. If they were to take Venice on the first turn, then technically Venice is a friendly territory. Germany could move 2 spaces and move into a fellow friendly territory if it wanted to. Now, let's see, we're at about 8 minutes right now. I think I'm going to hold off on the naval unit movement for now. We could get started on it, but I think that's also going to take probably about the same amount of time, and then we're going to end up with a video over 15 minutes. So I think I'll call it quits for now. I hope this was helpful. If anybody has any follow-up questions, please leave those in the comments, and I will get those incorporated as just a quick follow-up before really getting into naval movement in my next video. If there are any other things you'd like to see or little tutorials that you'd like me to run through, feel free to leave those in the comments as well. I would appreciate it, and I'd be happy to create a video, if possible, in response to those to help everybody learn this game a little bit better and develop their strategies. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful, and I will get another one up for you shortly.